What's going on with Jake Paul, Conor McGregor? Is that fight happening or what?
Probably not.
Is that bout between Jake Paul and Conor McGregor occurring or what? Dana White hasn't had it formally. Celebrity boxing.
There's a market for these kind of fights.
There is a market for these matches, but he can't stomach it, won't entertain it, and to be honest, he's probably losing sleep over it. Now, the thought of Jake Paul and Conor McGregor fighting is so ridiculous that Dana won't tolerate it.
He came out yesterday and said, well, now that you love me. Well, I never said I love you.
When he came out yesterday, he remarked, now that you love me, well, let's be honest, I never said I love you. It's unclear how Jake Paul, the self-described YouTuber turned fighter, persuades himself that he is a genuine rival to a UFC legend when he isn't even in the same reality as Conor. But delusion is free.
Well, he shouldn't even be fighting Conor McGregor. These guys are fucking huge. He's huge. His brother's huge. I mean, what's your brother, 6'1"?
Yeah.
210?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor's 145, 155 pounds.
Oh, he fights that low. I thought he fights like once.
These people are __, therefore he shouldn't even be competing against Conor McGregor. Huge. He's huge. His brother is huge. I mean, what with your brother 61, yes, 210, Conor McGregor's 145, 155 lbs. He fights that low. I thought he fights like once. Dana isn't just rejecting this fight, he's foretelling the catastrophe, and it would be Jake bouncing around as if he's reinventing boxing. But in reality, he's just making fun of the sport. He's not wrong, but this isn't simply a mismatch, it's a betrayal of all boxing fans who want to see genuine talent rather than a TikTok sideshow.
I'm looking for the absolute best in the world. These guys who have trained their whole life, they fight in these smaller shows and then they make it to the UFC, and we put the best against the best. It's just not what we do. There's a market for what these guys do, and there's money to be made in it. You know,
we've pitted the best against the best, but it's just not us. There is a market for what these guys do, and there is money to be made in it, you know. The absolute best in the world are these guys who have trained their entire lives and compete in these smaller shows before making it to the UFC. It appears that Dana White has had enough of Conor McGregor, the most popular Irish loudmouth, avoiding Jake Paul. Yes, you heard correctly. Because Conor, the UFC's golden boy, didn't want to jeopardize his...
Conor McGregor is one of the best on the fucking planet. He's one of the greatest fighters on earth right now.
And he's got
He shouldn't be fighting kids that have fucking YouTube videos, okay?
Priceless legacy by entering the circus that Jake Paul had transformed combat sports into. Dana freaking White reportedly drew the line at Jake Paul.
When there's the Floyd-Conor fight, you know, the fans wanted to see it. Everybody wanted to see it. That fight took on a life of its own. Floyd and I got together and figured it out, and it made sense, and we did it. So,
one of the finest fighters on the planet right now, Conor McGregor is among the best on the __ planet, but he shouldn't be fighting against children who have __ videos on YouTube. Well, the circus has already arrived, and it seems that Conor's unwillingness to participate in the freak show is a deal breaker. Floyd and I got together and decided that it made sense to do it after the Floyd-Conor fight took on a life of its own. Let's start with Jake Paul, the internet troll who became a millionaire boxer after somehow persuading people that he is a legitimate fighter.
Listen, he's a young kid out there trying to make some money.
He has been making $40 million annually while the purists clutch their pearls, whether they love him or not. Though it's all smoke and mirrors, Jake is skilled at selling a fight. But Dana White chooses to raise his flag at the prospect of him facing Conor McGregor in the ring. He's a young man attempting to earn some cash, and he has stated unequivocally that he would not allow Jake Paul to damage the UFC's reputation. Irony abounds because, let's face it, the UFC has previously staged some utterly awful bouts. Let's not pretend that money hasn't been Conor McGregor's primary motivator for a while. He has a fight scheduled against Dustin Poirier on Fight Island, and while he looks amazing on Instagram, he is avoiding Jake Paul. Conor McGregor, the man, the myth, the walking whiskey advertisement, is one of the richest fighters in the game, sitting pretty at $600 million in career earnings. That has more to do with Conor understanding how absurd it would appear to the world if he even explored the concept than it does with weight classes or upholding a legacy.
Do you think he could cut to, you think he could make 70?
One set. I don't think so.
Exactly.
I don't think so. It's such a spread.
And it's a stretch for Conor to fight at 70. You know what I mean? He fought Nate at 70. That isn't his fucking weight class, not even close.
Yeah.
I don't think so exactly, but it's a stretch for Conor to fight at 70. You know what I mean? He fought at 70. That shouldn't have been his __. Do you think he could cut to, you think he could make 71? Weight class isn't even close. Dana White is furious with Conor for not getting involved in that particular mess, which makes sense, even though he has called out celebrity fights for being disrespectful to the sport by undermining the blood, sweat, and years of training that true fighters put in. Dana, Because Jake Paul is laughing all the way to the bank and cashing checks larger than most UFC competitors will ever see in their lifetimes, while you're over here lecturing about maintaining the UFC's integrity.
On the percentage scale from 0 to 100, what are the chances that Jake Paul ever fights Conor McGregor?
0.
0.
Yeah.
Never happened.
From 0 to 100 on the percentage scale, there is almost no way that Jake Paul will ever face Conor McGregor. And let's not even discuss the weight class excuse. 155 is Conor's prime fighting weight.
Well, he shouldn't even be fighting Conor McGregor. These guys are fucking huge. He's huge. His brother's huge. I mean, what's your brother? 6'1"?
Yeah.
210?
Yeah.
Conor McGregor's 145, 155 pounds.
Oh, he fights that low. I thought he fights
That is a murder waiting to happen, not a battle. These guys are underscore, which is why he shouldn't even be competing against Conor McGregor. He's massive. His brother is huge. I mean, what's your brother 61, yet 210 Conor McGregor's 145, 155 LBS. Oh, he fights that low. How come rationality has ever stopped Dana from trying to make a fast buck? What this actually boils down to is Dana's annoyance with the entire celebrity boxing trend.
There's a market for these kind of fights.
The man sees dollar signs and then physics doesn't exist. If he could, he would definitely have Francis and Ngannou fighting a kangaroo if it meant shattering a pay-per-view record. Although Jake Paul is undoubtedly popular, there is a market for these kinds of battles. The epitome of everything. While Dana is busy yelling about protecting the sport, Jake and his brother Logan are transforming combat sports into a WWE plot, which people are consuming. This is what Dana hates most about these fights. They are taking money and attention away from the UFC.
It's just, there's weight classes for a reason.
Yeah.
And
What if Jake can cut to 145?
he just cuts half of his body off. Like, how do you do that?
Jake brought the type of guy to cut off a limb to make a weight class.
There are weight classes for a reason. That's all. But what if Jake could reach 145 by simply chopping off half of his body? How would you do that? Jake brought the kind of man who would amputate a limb to create a weight class. He is adamant about maintaining the UFC's reputation away from the neon glow of Jake Paul's Instagram antics. Because, as you can see, the UFC is more than just another fight promotion, it is a dynasty. Dana's kingdom is founded on grit, dedication, and the blood of fighters who have made it to the top of the viral TikTok and YouTube stunt rankings. To put it simply, celebrity altercations are not new, but they have recently escalated to absurd levels. Look at Logan vs. Floyd Mayweather. For heaven's sake, Paul Logan lost to KSI, but he somehow waltzed into a fight with Floyd, one of the greatest boxers of all time. Sure, it received millions of views, but to Dana, it was the combat sports equivalent of fast food that is flashy, unhealthy, and makes you question your life choices. Then, there's CM Punk, the WWE star who thought he could moonwalk into the UFC octagon, but he got destroyed. His humiliating stint highlighted exactly why Dana draws the line at celebrity fights. Compare that catastrophe to Brock Lesnar, who not only joined the UFC, but became a heavyweight champion. And ask yourself why years of real training didn't lead to clout chasing.
Floyd fought everybody that he was supposed to. Floyd's in this position right now where he can do things like this because he fought everybody. You know, this kid came up through the Olympics, went pro, fought everybody that he was supposed to fight, fought everybody, you know, that he needed to fight to get to where he is now. So when I see these guys, you know,
Floyd fought everyone that he was supposed to fight. Floyd's looked at Floyd's in this position now where he can do things like this because he fought everyone. You know, this kid came up through the Olympics and went pro, fought everyone that he was supposed to fight, fought everyone because he needed a fight to get to where he is now. Dana's annoyance isn't just personal, it's business. The UFC makes $1 billion annually, which isn't pennies, and Dana is aware of what keeps those figures rising. If he allows the octagon to become a playground for influencers, the UFC could lose its soul. And don't forget the fans, they're not there to watch YouTuber slap fests. Even though Dana despises celebrity bouts, he still respects legendary fighters like Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather, who are still considered gods in combat sports in their 50s.
Mike goes out and wants to fight in his 50s, everybody, I bought it. Everybody's going to buy it. Everybody wants to see Tyson do well. Everybody loves and wants to support Tyson.
Everyone is going to purchase it. Everyone wants to see Tyson succeed, and everyone loves and wants to support Tyson's exhibition fight with Jake. Mike goes out and wants to fight in his 50s. According to reports, Paul earned $20 million in pay-per-view, a profit that isn't chump change. Dana admires Tyson because he is a living icon who has earned the right to make money without compromising his reputation. During his career, Floyd battled everyone who mattered, solidifying his place in history. Now, he's merely playing the game better than anyone else. Although Dana recognizes their hustle, she draws a line that I don't.
But I get it. There's a lot of money in it. There's a market for those kind of fights. It's not what I do.
However, I understand that there is a market for those kinds of fights and that there is a lot of money involved. But that isn't what I do. Dana upholds the UFC's basic principles. In a world increasingly dominated by social media stars seeking a quick payday, Dana is using the upcoming Fight Island series 3 fights in 1 week, possibly with live fans, to demonstrate the UFC's dominance. If it succeeds, it will be another feather in the UFC's belt, proving it's still the gold standard. But the legacy of Conor McGregor is on a razor edge, and Dana is aware of it. Conor could fight Jake Paul and earn a lot of money, but at what cost to his pride and reputation? Even if it means facing off against his biggest star, Dana is not letting that happen under the UFC banner. Conor appears intent on training hard for his fight with Dustin Poirier in order to regain his throne. So for the time being, he is avoiding the Jake Paul circus, but let's not act like the possibility is out of the question, because money talks in a fight like that would be screaming dollar signs. In the end, Dana's alleged ring of Conor McGregor is just another chapter in his campaign against celebrity boxing. It's his way of drawing a line in the sand, stating that the UFC won't resort to gimmicks. Sure, the fight world is changing, making it harder to distinguish between sport and entertainment. But Dana is sticking to his principles, believing that the UFC is where true fighters come to prove their worth rather than where influencers come to line their own pockets.
There's a market for these kind of fights.
While Jake Paul continues to make boxing a reality show, there is a demand for these kinds of matches, whether it's fighting Conor, making fun of Jake, or creating a fight series in the middle of nowhere. Dana is busy ensuring that the UFC is the final bastion of integrity in combat sports. Dana is quite clear in her message, "Don't put your circus in my octagon." It may seem stunning that Dana White fired Conor McGregor, but let's face it, this is simply another chapter in the drama that combat sports has become. Watch for the next episode because, at this point, the focus is more on who can scream the loudest than